Welcome to the Masterpiece Effect, where we don't just chase success, we craft it. I'm Elnaj, self-leadership alchemist, Ironman finisher, and your guide on this unconventional journey to elite performance, legacy, and self-mastery. This is not your average personal development podcast. Here, we're questioning the narratives, dismantling limitations, and redefining what it means to lead yourself, your life, and your legacy. If you're ready to move beyond high achievement into intentional creation, you're in the right place. Let's begin crafting the ultimate masterpiece, you. Hello, beautiful friend. Have you noticed how fear is everywhere? It's in the risks you don't take, the conversations you avoid, the dreams you delay. But here's the thing. Fear itself isn't the problem. It's how you respond to it that determines everything. Most people either push through it blindly or let it keep them stuck. But the highest performers, they use fear as fuel. They harness it instead of running from it. So today, let's talk about how to reframe fear, not as something to fight, flight, or freeze from, but as something that can guide you toward the next level of your life and leadership. I was known as the fear maven. I loved everything about fear. This came about after my very first Ironman, and as I was stumbling out of the water, and I use stumbling lightly, it was more like a hippopotamus that had too much rum to drink that was trying to escape. The thought came into my mind that behind your fear lies your freedom. And I really had to sit with this for a long time after the race and start understanding how limited my life had been because of my fears. My fears of swimming, my fears of competing, my fears of looking like an idiot, my fears of not being able to finish, my fears of not being good enough, my fears of not being worthy of success. All of these things, all of these ideas in my head created a barrier for me to live my most exquisite life. So I wanted to understand fear. I wanted to befriend fear. I wanted to know the difference between fear around a story that I'm making up in my head and fear as my soul's warning that there is real danger and that it's time for me to get out of Dodge. Fear, though, is something that I feel is being glamorized at the moment, almost something that we need at the moment. And a lot of this is coming from the motivational industry. Do something every day that scares you. Well, why? Why do you have to do something every day that scares you? It's not necessary. When we start fabricating fear so that we can be the person that is worthy of praise and worthy of recognition from our peers, then we're really making life way harder than what we need to. Fear has such a beautiful purpose in our lives, and there's two purposes. The one purpose of fear is to make us aware of a dangerous environment, that something really can impact us negatively and we could die. We could be injured, we could destruct. And that is fear, telling you, move your butt, you're going to die. The other purpose of fear is simply to make us aware of our thought processes, to start becoming aware of the stories that we are telling ourselves about a situation, whether it's real or fictitious, the situation. And what you will start finding is majority of the stories that you're telling yourself that is keeping you stuck in fear is not even real. It's the, but what if this goes wrong? And what if that happens? It is playing out in a future that has not yet happened, and a future that you are creating through the frequency of fear. Why on earth would you want to create a future that you are afraid of? When you start understanding that you are the creator of your future through the stories that you are telling, through the spell that you are casting into universal fabric. And so when we start thinking of a future filled with fear, we create a future filled with fear. We create all the worst case scenarios. It's called the law of attraction. It has to be. It cannot be anything else, because your thoughts are attracting the cooperative components so that the vision in your mind can become your reality. One of the fastest ways to start transcending this is to become aware of your thoughts. Become aware of the stories that you are telling yourself. And yes, we all have those voices in our heads, and we are all telling ourselves stories. And for the most part, when you start paying attention to the stories, you can feel the energy for them. You can feel if the energy is one of tension, anxiety, doom and gloom, or if the energy is one of excitement, possibility, deliciousness. Oh my word, I can't wait for this to happen. This is going to be incredible. I can already see myself there. I can already feel this experience, and it's something that I want. Because if you are feeling it, and if you can see yourself there and you are terrified, change the story right now, right here. Start speaking out loud to yourself. Oh, wow, Al, look at you. There you go again. How interesting. Why are you telling such a doom and gloom story? Why would you bring your focus to this? Flow the energy of creation into a vision that's scaring the bejesus out of you. What if instead it was a beautiful future? What would that feel like, Al? What would that look like, Al? Let's start creating this, Al. For your mind has to create. Your mind has to think. That's its work. And it will even think of problems for you, or it will think of solutions for you. But you have to start being in charge of your mind. Because if you are not steering your focus, your mind, everybody else does. Everybody who's telling you to go and do something scary. Everybody who's telling you to set a big scary goal for yourself. Why do we need people to be in the frequency of fear? To prove their worth, that they are deserving of success, when our most powerful creation is on the frequency of divine love, where there is no fear because it's on the opposite side of the spectrum. When you start feeling the fear, ask yourself, why are you choosing this frequency? And what would divine love choose instead? The other little piece here that I really want to bring to your attention is that if you are a high achiever and you want other people to think you're a badass, you will choose suffering, fear, and challenge, hardship every single time. That will be the identity of the hero that you want to have. But you could have the identity of the artist. And the artist doesn't create from fear. It creates from an imagination of possibility, a realm of infinite potential, a magical realm, your best realm where you are your best self. You don't have to feel the fear and do it anymore. You can feel the fear and you can sit your sweet self down and you can ask yourself, what is the story about fear? And you can rewrite the story, thereby calibrating to your most powerful self. And then you can take the action fearlessly, without the fear, with excitement, with deliciousness, with intention and creativity. And you will never again stop yourself from living the life that you desire to live. I am still seeing way too many people expending all of their energy to overcome the struggle, fighting themselves and their fears. All of that energy can be channeled into actually creating the life that you desire. But you have to start becoming aware of your thoughts, the stories that you are telling yourself that is scaring you, and then become the author that tells a different story. The pen is in your hand, my friend, nobody else's. So what is the story that you can change today? Just one thing, one little thing that you're afraid of, that you know is stopping you from living your best life. And what is the story of magnificence, the story of winning, the story of infinite potential? Tell me that story. If you have any other questions around this topic, let me know in the comments and let's have the conversation. It's so worth it. That's it for today's episode of The Masterpiece Effect. But your transformation doesn't stop here. If something resonated, challenged you, or sparked a new insight, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts. Connect with me at elnash.com. And if you found value in this conversation, subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because life's too short for mediocrity. Let's create a masterpiece. See you next time.